Hi friends, welcome to Aishudiy. Today we will learn how to make a knotted bracelet. I chose this pearl beads. It's very pretty big pearls and I really like them. I wanted to make something. I'm not even so sure whether it is in a freshwater pearl or some kind of a pearl. I bought this in a Mercari haul, so I want to make a bracelet out of this. I chose this Eslon cord for knotting this pearl because the hole is big enough to accommodate the cord. And normally they would do silk thread with the silk cording with the pearls. Since I don't know whether these ones are freshwater or not, and plus also the color is matching, and I have this Eslon cord. This is the Eslon cord I'm using, and it says 0.5 millimeter 3-ply twisted. So this is what I'm using. I bought this on Amazon. It comes with 4 colors, which is this tan, this peachy pink, and this green, and this brown. So I'm using this cord today for knotting the bracelet. And for knotting the bracelet, you either use a tweezer or a knotting tool. So I'll just be back with my tweezer. So for knotting this bracelet, we can either use a tweezer or you can use this knotting tool. This is by Beadalon. So I'll show both the methods, and I have here a clasp. This is a magnetic clasp. You can use any kind of clasp and you can knot any kind of beads that you want. Normally precious stones is the ones that we knot actually, usually, but you can knot any kind of beads you want. But it's a very fun and fun process to knot actually the beads. It's very fun. So first of all, we'll take our clasp. We'll start with our clasp because um, what I want to do is I want to take some glue and just make this place a little bit stiff so that we can work, means we can thread our pearls without any problems. So you take a sap glue or E6000 or Beadalon, any glue is fine. In E6000 takes a little bit longer to dry, so I'm thinking of using Beadalon glue. So we will use a collapsible eye needle or a big eye needle to thread in all the beads. So here we go. Pretty much this was a small strand, so I am actually threading in all the beads inside this for my bracelet. I'm not cutting any length because I'm just going to leave it in the strand and knot it that way. Or you can cut yourself a length. Actually, we can cut ourselves a length of about 1.5 yards or so because we have to knot. So 1.5 yards is actually the length. If the silk thread, if you are using silk thread, then it comes in a spool and then you can use the entire spool to knot these bracelets. So let's start from this side. First I will take in the clasp and then I will thread my needle through one end of my clasp, and then I'll come back through the first pearl that I have in hand, whatever bead you have. So I'll come back once. It will be a little bit tight, but we can get through threads. And so this is our, so we don't need this bigger um, gap here. So I'll just pull this off a little bit. There we go. And take our big eye needle, and then I'm going to knot this right here. You can do 1 or 2 knots. So it's just an overhand knot. I have a short tail and a long one. So I'm just going to put the right over left and then going underneath once and then going underneath twice. There we go. And then just put a knot like that. So the knot is done now. And then I shall move in my next bead, and then I will leave this knot just like that, and then I'll go ahead and make a knot after the second bead. I'll show you guys how to do with the tweezer first. So I have here my pearl, and I'm going over my index finger and coming back. So if you have threaded all the pearls, you have to take in and put it with the pearls as such, just like this. So it's an overhand knot. So all you need to do is you need to come through this loop. So you'll take it with all the pearls that you have strung and take it out just like that, and we form the loop. Now take your tweezer and put the tweezer inside the loop and hold it right on top of the pearl just like that, and then pull it like this. So this is what you will have. So when you pull it, you just push the knot next to the bead. If the bead hole is big, you can do one more knot the same way you do it. You can go over 2 of your fingers and then take the rest of your pearls, go into the loop, and then come back. Okay, here we have a loop, and then just make sure that the loop lands on top of the knot that you already made. So just making sure the knot is right there, and then it lands on top. There we go. The knot is right next to the pearl and it's like a bead. Now you move the next one. The next one we shall try and use the knotting tool to make the knot. So the same thing you have to do. For this you cannot have the beads. So I'll take it, go around, take it through the loop that we made, and hold the thing. So now we will do the bead-along easy knotter tool. So you just go around your fingers, come back, and then make a loop and take the end of the thread and go inside the loop and come back. We have here a knot. So use this knot, use this part as the tweezer part, like wherein you will attach the tweezer, and then just go ahead and pull the end of the thread, and this knot will move all the way to the bead. Now that you have it right next to the bead, all you need to do is put that thread into this V-shaped part of the tool, and then you just push this on top just like that to deliver the knot right next to the bead. And there you have another knot. So this is how you do another knot. Then you add one more bead. The next bead, and you see if the distance is okay. If it is not okay, all you can do is you can do one more knot on top and close that space together. Okay, there we go. Now the knot is big enough, plus it has that sufficient space. Yes, and now all we need to do is, you can also do it like this or this, whichever way is comfortable for you. Make an X, make the loop, get the thread into, take your tool, put it inside the loop, and then there is your knot. You bring it all the way close, put the end of the thread on in between the V, and then you have your knot right next to the bead. And if you want to deliver the knot right next to the bead, you just push this, and there we go. The knot is delivered right next to the bead. You can do the next knot with the hand. That's what I think is a very good idea, because the knot lands on top. And then you can do the same, or you can just use the tweezers and then get to the knot, hold the knot right there, and then pull it close to the bead, and your knot is right there. So double knot is looking really great, and I'm going to continue this until the end of the bracelet. So I have knotted up till here. I thought, why not I knot it through the entire video. I'll record it. So here I am adding one pearl bead and putting it all the way right next to my bead. So on my right hand side, I work with my right hand. I'm right-handed, so this is the way it's easier for me. You can also do it this way, but this is how it's easier for me. So here I have my work. I'm going two of my fingers and I'm crossing it over, bringing the tail into the loop that I made, and here is my knot. Take your tweezers, put it inside this loop right here, and hold the thread where you want the knot to sit. So this is my loop, and I went inside the loop and I'm holding the place where I want the knot to land, and then just pull the end. So now hold your tweezers and push that knot right next to the bead. So this is how you knot with the tweezer, and I'm doing one more knot. The same thing. I'm going over two of my fingers and I'm taking the tail and going under. From under I'm going through the loop, and here I have a overhand knot. Now I'm holding the knot because I want the second knot to go on top of the first knot. So I am just pulling my thread and just pushing my knot right next to the bead. Here I have a big knot. So now I will explain the same process with the knotter tool. I feel the tweezers are much more easier for me. I don't know, because I'm so used to. but the knotter tool is also not that hard. The only thing with the knotter tool is making the second knot. It's a little bit difficult for me. So here we go. Again, go over two of my fingers, make a cross, and take the tail and go underneath and in between the fingers or the loop that you created and pull the thread out. Now we have a knot. So with the knotter tool, put the knotter tool inside, put this needle kind of a thing inside the knot and pull this thread so that your knot is caught inside this needle. And now if you pull it, it will automatically move towards the bead until there is no space for it to left to go. So now you have the end of the thread sit right in between this V. Okay, and then with your hand push this pedal kind of a thing up just like that. When you push it up and take it, and that will make the knot land where it wants it has to be landed. So that's how you do it. I'll do one more time. Make a loop, take your tail and put it through the loop, have this needle kind of a thing inside the loop, and you can actually put it like this also. Now pull that um, right over here. So if you pull the tail, the knot will move all the way over here. And what you can do is can put this end here and then move this right where it needs to be landed. There we go. So that's where it is. So I'm just going to make one more because the second knot didn't land on top. That's how I think that with the tweezer it's much more easier for me to make the second knot land on top of the previous knot. Now it has become a big knot, but that's okay. So I like the tweezers much better than the knot tool for this project because I'm doing 2 knots. Now I'm going to thread in one more bead. There we go. Holding my 2 fingers, making a cross, taking the tail and going underneath the loop just in between the 2 fingers. So we have a loop here or a knot, and then you go with the tweezer inside the loop and hold the place where you want the knot to be. So for example, right next to this bead. And then if you pull the tail, the knot will all move towards the tweezer. Now you can take the tweezer and hold it and push the knot right next to the bead. So one more knot the same way. Take the 2 fingers, cross it and take the tail in between the 2 fingers and you have a knot, simple overhand knot. Put the tweezer inside and hold on top of the previous knot wherever you have the knot, and then pull the tail all the way and push that knot. Okay, there we go. Again I missed, so I'm making one more knot. Okay, just be careful when you're making this knot. Just hold on top and then pull all these things together and push that knot. There we go. That's nice and tight right next to the pearl. And now I'm adding one more bead. So I'm going to continue this as my wrist size is a standard wrist size. It's 7.5 inches. Bracelet would fit in my wrist size. So I'm going to put in one more bead. I'm going to check once again. I'm almost there. One more bead, I should be done. So take my fingers, cross it, take the tail, put it right in between from underneath, put right in between the two fingers, and you have your knot. Now take your tweezers, go into this knot, into this loop, and hold where you want the knot to sit. And then now pull your thread, just make sure it's right next to the bead, and then just pull it closer and closer. And when it is close, you can take the tweezer off and just kind of push the knot in its place. We can do one more. Cross it, put it underneath, take it out, take your tweezer and hold it right on top of the knot, the previous knot that you made, and pull it slowly so that the knot sits right on top of the knot that you already made. See how close it has come, and it has knotted on top of the other knot. So one more bead and we are done. So I'll take this one right here. So if I have this, and if I think that this is going to be the size, it's exactly the size. If I add one more pearl, it might be a little bit big for me. So let me see how much the length of this is. Let me take a ruler. Here we go. So this is about 7.5 inch. That's all we want to. So I am going to take my this end of my thread and put it in the collapsible eye needle. And go through my end of my clasp. And then what I'm going to go through this bead right here. Okay, it'll be a little bit difficult. If you have difficulty to put your needle, just use your tweezers, tweezer nose pliers or flat nose needle nose pliers to kind of, help you out there. So there we go. So this is what I have here. Now I shall pull this thread all the way. So now I'm just pulling this all the way across. And then I'm going to check whether this fits me. That's much more important. So I'm going to check. Okay, there we go. Fits me perfectly. So I'm good to go. Because it's magnetic, it's touching everywhere and holding everything together. So here I have brought in, and I'm going to knot on top here. just an overhand knot. So you don't need the collapsible eye needle anymore. So let's just put that aside and then go over top of this. Just hold your fingers and then go over top, make a loop, take the end of the thread and go into it. And then tighten it. That's it. Just one knot is good enough. If you want, you can do one more knot. Just make a loop, take the tail and go into it and then come back. That's it. Tighten it and then just dab a little bit of GS Hypo Cement or Beadalon glue, whichever glue you have in hand. Just dab it generous amount and keep it on top of a scrap of paper that you have right here. Then here we have knotted, so you are going to put one more dab of glue on top of this knot as well and leave it on top of the paper for it to dry. And then once it's dried completely, you can snip off. Now I'm not going to snip off the entire thread because it's my glue will take some time to dry. So I have here my bracelet. I'm going to snip off a little bit where not close to the knot, but I'm going to leave a little bit of space. And after 24 hours or so, I'm just going to snip off as close to the knot as possible. And we have our bracelet ready. So you can also put it on top of a ziploc or so, just like that, so that it dries completely and then you're good to go. That's how you knot a bracelet. I hope you guys learned something different today, and I hope you like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for notification. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.